Thorn.
Hello guys, Gabriela here, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I will show you 10 best glute exercises that I have been literally doing for years and that have helped me to transform and grow my glutes. The first exercise is of course hip thrust. This exercise has been an absolute staple in my workout routine for years and I've been doing them multiple times a week. In this video I'm doing B-stance hip thrust, but of course you can start with the regular hip thrust. There are so many variations and so much to choose from, so you don't have to do exactly this same variation, but you can just change it around as well. You can also see that I'm using the bench and not the hip thrust box, the low box, because that is not something you want to do. It is a wrong setup in fact, and especially if you're a taller girl, I definitely recommend you to use the bench. Make sure that your position and also the setup is correct to get most of your glutes. The second exercise, again one of my absolute favorites, is the straddle lift. Now the straddle lift is basically a dumbbell squat. I will not be complicating it too much. The key here is not to place your feet too wide apart. We do not want anything further from hip width apart or any type of sumo stance. We want to keep the feet narrower for this one to make sure that we are stretching the glutes in the bottom position, so in the stretch. That's where they are working the hardest. The third exercise is deficit reverse lunge. So you can notice that I put a plate on the floor to stand on. Unfortunately, in this shot we just can't see it too much, but at this point I'm standing on the plate, which will allow me to drop lower and get more of the glutes, as again they are working in the stretch position compared to if I would stand just on the floor. Also to mention, I use on the plate that is 2 or 3 centimeters high. I do not want to use a box because that would cause me to not have the right position in this movement. So make sure that you use just a plate to stand on. The next exercise I'm doing is good morning. Now, I do not recommend to do good mornings if you're a beginner or if you're not sure about your form, and also if you're struggling with the low back pain. This is basically exactly the same movement as the Romanian deadlifts. You're just using a different equipment. So if you're unsure about your form or you're struggling to feel the glutes, then I definitely recommend you to start with the Romanian deadlifts and then work yourself up to the good mornings. Also, you can see that I'm using a lower bar position and also my feet are not too wide apart. Please excuse the angle, I just wanted to show you the exact foot position from the back. The next exercise is a unilateral exercise, again called back foot elevated split squat. Mind that this is not a Bulgarian split squat. For that exercise you would have normally your back foot positioned on a bench, which would be higher. This here you are only using the back foot elevation. And again, we are focusing on training the glutes in a stretch position. Exercise number 6 is single leg hip thrust. Again, this is a little bit more advanced, even though you are using only a dumbbell, but because you have one leg in the air and the other one is working, this requires quite a lot of stability and core engagement. So I would say you could potentially do it after a couple of months of doing hip thrusts, but if you're really a beginner, I would just opt for the regular dumbbell or barbell hip thrusts. Also, as you can see, my resting leg, that one which is in the air, is not extended. I'm not kind of lifting it up or anything. I'm just keeping it as relaxed as possible and focusing on the working leg. And also, to make the exercise harder, you can add 1 1/4 reps at the top, or for example pause at the top in a shortened position as well. Number 7, An absolute staple and a must-do exercise, Romanian deadlifts. For sure, you all know about this exercise. So we have different types of deadlifts, but Romanian deadlift is exactly what you need to be doing for the glute max. Here I'm focusing on driving my hips back, so it is a hip hinge movement, and stretching the glutes at the bottom again. We are not squeezing the glutes at the top, as you can see, but always try to slow down at the bottom and get the most of that stretch. Next up, we have 45-degree hip extensions. Again, we are focusing on training your glute max in the shortened position here. We are not training the back, so you do not want to hyperextend on the way up and reach super high. The top position will be where your glutes are fully shortened, so when you squeeze them the hardest. And then again, you need to make sure that you're engaging your core at the top and breathing correctly. Always perform a slow and controlled movement and focus on engaging your glutes. Exercise number 9, low bar squats. I know there's been a lot going on around the squats and whether you can actually grow the glutes thanks to doing them. However, if you know how to position yourself correctly, I think it's a great exercise. Of course, if you feel uncomfortable doing squats or you can't get the position right, you can always practice on different variations. For example, the straddle lifts are amazing. So as you can see, the position of the bar is low on my back. It does not sit on my traps, it is lower, and this allows me to lean forward more and drive my hips further back, which creates more stretch in my glutes compared to the high bar squat. Now also you can see the position on my feet, they are not too wide apart. The wider you will go, the more you'll be targeting your adductors and the glute medius. So again, we want to train and engage more of the glute max. And as the last part of this video, I wanted to include actually 3 isolation exercises or movements. The first one is cable kickback. This is when you are kicking straight to the back and you will target the upper portion of your glute max. Always make sure that this movement is very slow and controlled. We do not want to be using momentum and kicking as high as possible. Another variation is glute medius kickback. This will be going from across and kicking basically to the 45-degree angle, which will target your glute medius that sits on the top of your hip. And the third and last variation is the straight leg abduction, which will in this case target your glute minimus. I hope you found this video helpful. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and also check out my 8-week program called Next Level Glutes. I will include the link in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!